This comment is in regards to a video I did about migrant agricultural workers in the United States of America. This person, along with a whole bunch of other idiots, said, "Why are Democrats in favor of slave labor still?" We're not. You guys don't get to continuously argue against us wanting a living wage for everybody working in the country and then turn around and say that we want migrant workers to continue to work for pennies. No, we want them to have a living wage too. We want the men and women that go out into the fields and sweat their asses off all day long to handle the produce as well as the meat in the meat packing plants that we consume to have a livable wage. You know that because you argue against it. And you don't get it both ways. You don't get to say, oh, they want slaves in the field, and then turn around. Can you believe this? They want everybody to be able to live off their fucking money. Sorry, you just don't get both. And even though it's anecdotal evidence, and I understand that it's anecdotal evidence, and if you don't know what anecdotal means, just get yourself a dictionary. And if you don't know what a dictionary is, get a thesaurus and work your way forward. The anecdotal evidence that I can present is as follows. I worked in the landscape industry for 26 years. I worked for other companies for 20 years. I had my own company for 6. The people who I hired for my company, they were all American born right here from in town, college kids. Every single company that I worked for in the previous 20 years, and every company I had an interaction with in the 6 years that I was running my own company that had a large workforce in the landscape industry, and there was a shit ton of undocumented immigrants, whether it's a company that I interacted with or a company that I worked for, every fucking one of them owned and run by Republicans. The company I worked the longest for, the company that I have the biggest soft spot in my heart for, had 2 owners. Both of them were Republicans. One of them was so fucking Republican, he had a picture, an autographed picture of George W. Bush on his office wall. Why is it that I can have a lived experience that says, man, both sides of the political aisle are really not interested in solving this undocumented immigration situation because it's free money flowing into the federal government. But also, every single guy I work for that hires a shit ton of undocumented immigrants is a Republican. And then years later have some fucking jamoke like you go, well, it's Democrats that want slave labor. Everybody I ever worked for that hired undocumented immigrants was a Republican. Literally my entire career. And some of them paid dog shit wages to those people, which is part of the reason why I probably didn't last very long at those companies. And the ones that I lasted a long time to, they did give those people a living wage. 25, 30 years ago, paying Bobcat operators with no experience at all, $21, $22 an hour with full union benefits because they were members of the local 150 union. And guys like you still wanted them gone. Why? Because guys like you, and I'm not saying you personally, I'm saying guys like you, kept bitching and moaning every time we hired you. Oh, this work is so hard. It's so hot out here. Why are the days so long? Why do we got to work so many weekends? Well, because we're a seasonal company. We make our money when the weather's good. If you can't handle it, then go home and figure out something else to do with your life.